Good morning, everybody. So here's the thing, I just woke up. Right now it's 8:26 and I am heading to work. So this video that I will be making, it's going to be about the US sponsor visa and how it actually works. So in this video you will see and understand how the US officials actually permits and handle your case and our cases. So that's how it will be, and it's not going to be the most difficult process, but it is going to be it's not going to be easy process as well. So let's keep that in mind and begin this video, because I will be recording back and forth wherever I get a chance. So this is going to be the intro, and I hope you will like this video. Hello everyone, if you haven't made a LinkedIn account yet, you should consider making one. It will connect you to the professionals in your field and which can lead you in your next career. So in this video, I will explore the details and the information of the US employment visa sponsorship. And I thought, why not give you some detailed information about the work sponsor visa and how it actually works. So the US is a powerful global force with a high economic development, the promise of the American dream and of success that attract people from all over the world. They want to find jobs and build a new lives in this country. But even though a lot of people want jobs in the US, it is a long process to get them. There are many steps of foreign people need to take legally work in this country. One very important step is US employment sponsorship, which I will talk about today. So let's begin. What is a US visa sponsorship, if you may ask? So things kind of like this, that to be able to go to the US to work, you must find a job and the employer must be willing to hire someone who is not from the US in the first place. The company that you plan to work for must know that you are not a US citizen or a legal permanent resident. If the employer is aware and still wants to hire you, then they agree to sponsor you. A US visa employment sponsorship means that the employer in the US is hiring you and they are guaranteeing the US visa authorities that you will be legal working resident. So you'll file tax and everything, all that good stuff. The employer will state that you will work the job position that they hired you for. Also, they must guarantee that you will get the same salary as a US citizen or a legal permanent resident in the same job position. The employer visa sponsorship, it's not exactly a letter, as most people think that they are a set of documents that are sent to the US Citizenship Immigration Services or USCIS. It is not only one sponsorship letter, and most people think. The document must have a different forms and letters with the employment information. They must also state that the employer is willingly hiring the employee. By far it is well and good, but now the story gets a bit trickier. So the tricky part in the employment visa sponsorship is to justify hiring a foreign employee. The US has a large population, so why not hire a US citizen on LPR? This is one of the questions that most employers must answer when they try to sponsor a foreign employee. To solve this, the employer must post job ads and submit the other documents to the US Department of Labor. The employer must wait for someone to respond to the job ads. If no one does, as a US citizen, they can argue that they could not find anyone to do the job for them. This will mean that the US citizen or legal permit resident were not available or skilled for this position. Then the US employer can justify hiring a foreign employee. So as a recap, if you want to work in the US, you must find an employer willing to sponsor you. And working without a sponsorship means that you are working illegally. That can have your consequences. So how do you get a sponsor letter for a US visa? As explained, getting a sponsorship employment visa requires you to have an offer from a US employer. The US employer must send you a contract to sign, which will be a part of the sponsorship documents. For some non-immigrant visas, though, the Department of Labor first requires a labor certification. So this is a part where the US employer proves that they could find a suitable US employee but have to hire a foreign one. After getting this certification, the employer submits the petition to the USCIS. The petition has all the supporting documents, contracts, itineraries, and qualifications of the potential employee. It is then submitted to the USCIS and for their review. If the employer, suppose, wants to complete them, they can do so following those instructions, and many employers though hire a lawyer to complete it because it's very easy to make mistakes in filing or submission can lead to a delay of visa processing. Once the USCIS has the petition and the supporting documents, they process the case. Since there are so many petition wait time that can be long, some might years, some employees wait for months or some other year to hear back from the USCIS. When USCIS eventually makes a decision, they send a notice to both the employer and the employee. If they deny the petition, the notice of outline the reasons, and it could because the employee was not qualified enough or there was not enough documentation to support the employee's causes. So if USCIS decide to approve the petition, then the notice will be positive. It will then state the next step that the employer and employee must take to get the actual visa. Then, depending on the type of visa that they want, they start the application process, and the application process is then done at the US Embassy in the employee's home country. Remember, for that you have to maybe go back to your home country and go to the embassy. So, if you ask me how long the sponsor visa in the USA are valid, getting the sponsorship and the visa are a difficult part. After you get the visa, then you make your travel arrangements, and once you go to the US, you can start working. But if you have a non-immigrant visa, then its validity is temporary. This means that after some time it will expire. And how long the non-immigrant visa is valid depends on the type of visa that you have. Some, like the H-1B visa, are valid for 3 entire years, which can be a long time, while the others could be valid for 1 year. So you must check the details of your visa and not to overstay. When the time comes for your visa to expire, some can get extension. The employer at the same time can apply again the sponsorship to USCIS to that they could get the visa again. But for the non-immigrant visa on the other hand, there are limited extension. In most cases, you will not be able to extend for more than 2 or 3 times. So if you ask me that how much does the sponsored visa cost, I would say getting an employment visa sponsorship is not cheap, especially to the US employer who has to pay most of the fees. Depending on the visa, it might cost up a few $1,000s to sponsor a foreign employee. Because it's so expensive, employers are reluctant to do it. That is for today, and I will see you next time. In the meantime though, you can ask me question regarding the sponsored visa, but please make sure that it's not a personal question. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.